Hi, everybody. My name is Hannah, and with me today I have Tabby.
Hello.
And today we are going to do something a little different with our More Than Superheroes graphic novel book talk. Today we are going to just talk about mangas. So, for those of you who haven't tried mangas and have maybe been interested or been a little nervous because you read them right to left instead of left to right, now is a really good time to try them out. So, I will share a few. They're going to be in a variety of topics. Tabby's going to share a few in a variety of topics. If you see any that catch your eye and you don't catch the title right away, no worries, because I have made a book list and I will add it into the comments at the end of the live stream. If you have any questions while we are going through them, feel free to add a comment and we will answer them as quickly as we can. So, let's get into it. As you can see, I have a nice stack here to share with you, and I'm sure Tabby has a very nice stack to share with you as well. So there'll be all kinds of good ones. These first three that I'm going to share, these have a very popular anime based on them as well. So these will probably be familiar titles to you. But it also might be a really good gateway manga for you for that reason as well. And the first one I want to share is Dr. Stone. So, for those of you who haven't seen this one, or this is a new one, basically every human on the planet has been turned to stone. They're stuck being stone for many, 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 many years, but then a few of them break out of the stone stage and have to rebuild civilization. And this main doctor here is one of the main ones trying to figure out how to make everybody get out of their curse, basically. So it's very fun. It kind of reminds me a bit of like Sleeping Beauty, but with a scientific twist. So it's a really fun one. It's kind of a humorous one too. And it's nice if you want a manga that isn't very fantasy and is a little bit more sciencey. Well, science with little quotes around it. This next one here, this is based on a very popular anime series that just got plopped on Netflix finally, and that is Demon Slayer. This one is absolutely lovely. The manga is a lot more detailed than the anime, so if you watch the anime and just want more, this is a really good one for sure. So the main character here, who is this fellow, his entire family gets killed by a demon when he is off to the town to sell some stuff. And the only survivor is his sister, but she got turned into a demon in the process. So he's both trying to remove her curse and at the same time find the demon that killed his family for revenge. So it's a revenge story, it's a family story. It's got all kinds of good stuff all rolled into one. And the art is pretty fun. It's very actiony. If you like demon stuff, this is really a fun one for you. The next one is the last one of the anime-ish ones, and this is a very famous one now, and that is The Promised Neverland. So this is an orphanage story with a very dark twist. This one, all these orphans think once they hit an age, some loving parents are coming to adopt them, only to discover, surprise, it's not a loving family. It's an alien race that eats humans as a delicacy. Yikes. So if you like the anime, want to get more into it, this is a really good one. If you just want a manga that's very dystopian and has an orphanage twist, this is just a good one for you as well. On a slightly lighter note, these ones here, there isn't really like a popular anime in the US based on it yet, but these are just good ones. This is a really good one if you like Studio Ghibli. If you like something light and cuddly and almost like a romantic comedy Something you just curl up to without the blood and gore and all that stuff. And that is this one. Beyond the Clouds. This one is lovely. So it's in kind of like a steampunky world. The main character is a mechanic that's also a treasure hunter. And one day he finds this girl with wings and he tries to help her find her way back home. Simple premise, but it has a really nice, complex characters. And the art is very, very pretty. And of course, I'm pretty sure there's a magical cat in it, which who doesn't like those? As you can see, it's very soft pencil work, which is what I like. And it's very detailed. It's just pretty. It's pretty and it's good for manga readers that don't necessarily like fighty punch 'em ups. And next one, this is an action one, but it's also pretty humorous. It's also a little dark because it involves human combustion. Ew. And that is Fire Force. So Fire Force here, if you like Soul Eater, you probably like this one. It's kind of a similar main character and personality and superhero-ishness almost. It's a world plagued by human combustion, which makes people combust into flames and it starts these big fires. So this Fire Force has come in to stop the fires that are popping up all over the place. The main character, who's this dude, he can run really, really fast, and he leaves these footprints that are called devil footprints. And he's basically really, really speedy, so he can get to the fires quicker than anybody else. So it's a bit of a mystery trying to figure out what's starting the fires. And it's just a fun one.
That one also does have an anime. I don't remember what streaming service it is on, but it is a very good one. I've watched that one as well.
Yeah, it might be on Crunchyroll, maybe.
There, yeah.
And then this is probably going to be the most un-manga-ish manga I'm sharing. This is a good one if you like stories and like edible little snippets like mangas can be, but not necessarily the typical shonen format where there's like a little bit of this book and there's a few chapters in this book. If you just want it all in one thing, Finland Saga is a really good one. It comes in like 3 volumes and you're done. Super easy. And it's a retelling of Vikings. It's set in the 11th century during the Viking era. And this is the story of Thor, not like Norse god Thor, but like the Thor ruler and his origin story. So it's a bit of a historic fiction book, but it's also just, it's fun to have a manga not set in Japan and have like a Viking setting for Japanese themes. So it's just a cool one. If you want fighty stuff without a lot of romance elements in it, this will probably be a good one for you. And then we got 2 more, and then it's going to be Tabby's turn. We are very close. And I'm going to share my favorite one. It's funny. It's dumb in all of the best ways. And that is The Way of the House Husband. Oh, Tabby knows how much I love this book. So the main character, he used to be a part of the Yakuza, and he used to be like one of the most fierce members of the Yakuza. And he retires to be a house husband with his lovely wife. He goes all in, like all in, with the Yakuza mindset. And the intimidation factor is still there. And it is just lovely because his neighbors are very aware that he probably was an ex-Yakuza member. And it's just very humorous. He runs into other associates, we'll call them, and gets them also into it. And it's just a fun comedy. It's going to be on Netflix in a couple months.
I think so.
So So be on the lookout for it. I'm very optimistic that it will probably be well done, but definitely try this manga out. It's very funny. I'm usually pretty picky about comedy mangas myself, but this one made me giggle really hard.
Me too.
So if you want a good, funny one, The Way of the House Husband is perfect. And my last one, this will be the only adult rated manga I will share with you today. I know, kind of weird. I usually do about half and half. But this one, super fun. Given, this takes place in a high school. This is a rock band, and it's also a love story. So it's both a romance, and it's kind of like a slice of life story a little bit. So it's just a good combo. It's a good LGBT plus pick as well. So it's just nice. If you just want a little rom-com, there's some harsh themes in it sometimes, but it's still a really nice one. And the art is cool. And with that, I think it's time for Tabby to share some books that she brought with her today. What do you got?
Well, to start off, we're going to look at The Ancient Magus' Bride. So this is really beautiful fantasy manga. It focuses on the main character whose name is Chis, I believe. And she's an orphan. Her family pretty much abandoned her. And she auctions herself off at this fantasy auction. And she gets purchased by Mr. Elias Ainsworth, who's this 7-foot-tall humanoid. And he's got the skull here as a head. And it's kind of a romantic slice of life, but has some supernatural going on. There's also an anime for this one, and we've got 14 volumes of it. So if you really like it, and it's still going, but I definitely love this one. It's very pretty. Moving on to our next one, I've got kind of a long title, is Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody. So this one kind of follows the whole getting sucked into a video game trope, but the guy who gets sucked in designed the game. So he has this cheat that lets him just level up very quickly. And he just tries to blend in with society, even though he's level 200 now. But it's really awesome and just really, like I said, fantasy and just real good.
That, and I'm a firm believer that the longer the title, usually the both weirder but more entertaining the manga's going to be.
That is a good rule of thumb, Hannah. So this one's my personal favorite, is Delicious in Dungeon. And it's about this group of adventurers that they're dungeon delvers, and they're trying to create, a name for themselves. But they run in with a dragon, which ends up being a little too strong for them. And they get teleported out of the dungeon with nothing. They don't have any of their equipment. So they're trying to run back in there to save the main character's sister. And they end up having to eat the monsters in the dungeon. So, they'll eat the basilisk. They have stuff like hippogriff soup, skyfish and chips, roast basilisk. It's really cute, and I love this one so much.
I think my favorite part about that one is they have almost recipes for it, including the food pyramid and the nutritional factors. It's very detailed.
Oh yeah.
The detail in it is just, it's not only do they eat the creatures in the dungeon, but we're going to put in the nutritional facts as well.
Exactly. So this is a story of, the next one is Magus of the Library. And so this one follows the story of a poor boy who's swept away by a kind library mage and the literal magic of reading. He's a small, a poor elven boy, and he's kind of abused, honestly. Not many people, they won't let him into the library, but he loves to read. And so he decides that he wants to become a Magus of the Library, and it kind of follows his story on how he becomes one of the best known, essentially, library mages.
Mm-hmm.
in the world. And just the art style is absolutely gorgeous. You know, I do. It's really pretty, and the magic's really fun. Just a unique take on that sort of trope.
Yeah. And of course, real libraries, everyone is welcome. So
Exactly.
that whole plot wouldn't have existed in this universe.
Probably one of another favorite of mine is Our Dreams at Dusk. This is a very short 4-volume series that follows a young man who he's ready to commit suicide, unfortunately, but he sees somebody jump off a building, and he runs over there to see if they're okay, and he finds that they're fine. And he gets invited to this after-school drop-in center where he meets a whole bunch of people who are of the LGBTQ community. And again, the art style is really pretty, very welcoming. And it's just illustrates and acknowledges some of the biases that can come with being a part of the LGBTQ community, but it just kind of makes you feel a bit more like welcome in your own skin. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's a good one when you're trying to discuss like even like LGBT themes or maybe like really hard human emotions. That's just a good one to read, and just the art's pretty too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And lastly, kind of a sneak peek for what we have coming to KDL is one of my new favorites, again, is Spy Family. So I actually borrowed this through Mel, and that's how I have it. But it follows this world-renowned spy named Twilight, and he gets sent on this mission to infiltrate this academy, but it's a school for children. And so he has to adopt a family. So he ends up adopting a telepath. And the school tells him, well, she needs a mother. And so he ends up finding this woman who's actually an assassin. And they all live together in this fake family. And it's really funny because they're all trying to hide their actual, like, true nature from each other. And it's just super cute. A good comedy, definitely. And is very reminiscent of other shonens.
Yeah, like if I were to recommend like a humorous, like intimidating, scary, powerful people trying to like have slice of life, I'd probably combine that one, which you can put on hold because we're putting it on order.
Yes.
And probably The Way of the House Husband.
Definitely.
That would probably be how I combine those two. But with that, that is all we have to share with you today. So next month, I will be right back here with some more graphic novels to share. Thank you for joining us. I have added the book list as a comment. And with that, take care, stay safe, and we will see you later. Bye.